Hey, good man, here with another authentic talk note. One of the guys was mentioning in group that he's realizing the experience of grace is far better than the theory of it. And that can be so true in our lives. You know, someone will tell you, hey, give yourself some love, give yourself some grace, don't worry about it. And it all sounds great until maybe we don't know how to experience it. Maybe we don't know how to live it and let it be an expression of who we are rather than just being a theory of something to attain. And he gave the story. He said, me and my wife have been taking some time for each other, and he said, boy, that gives some opportunity for perspective. He said, we were kayaking down one of the rivers that we go to, and I kind of smarted off, and I was kind of being hard on her, and he said, I didn't really love what I said, but it was kind of negative, and I was kind of beating her up, and she just said, you know what, I've just had enough of you. And so she went on ahead of me, and I pulled off, and we were there we are in the middle of our day trying to have a good day, and here it is going downhill or downriver. And quite literally we felt like he was like, I don't know what to do. So he said in the past he would have kind of raced after her and apologized right away and said, I'm so sorry for that. No, don't be mad. And it was all about making her not mad at him. And he said this time he tried a different approach. He said, I stopped and I paused and I said, what am I looking at here? And I'm going to give myself the grace to take a few minutes and not chase after her just quite yet. I want to figure out where I'm coming from before I do that. And we often say in groups that we want to process that personally before we process it relationally, because oftentimes when the wheels come off, we'll go back at it and the wheels stay off. Everyone's had that fight where they try to make it right and the fight got worse. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. So he took 10 minutes at the bank and he said, man, this is going to be really difficult to catch up to her. And he just gave himself the grace to catch up to her at a decent pace. And then, she had waited for him, wanting to talk to him. So they both had kind of taken their time, processed it personally. They got back on the river, and he was able to bring back to her where that negativity was coming from. He was feeling stressed at work, and he was transferring it onto her and trying to make her almost feel as bad as he was. And he was able to kind of connect with himself, and then that caused him to connect with his wife. And then she really appreciated that he kind of had his why. It wasn't just an empty apology, but he actually had given himself the grace and the time of that separation and not worrying so much about them just being disconnected for the moment. But he said it was an opportunity to reconnect. And he said it all came from grace, of the experience of grace for myself, not worried about what she was thinking, not worried about how mad she was, but taking a minute, saying, where am I at? Where did that come from? And then I will go and pursue my wife. And he said that was really life-giving. So, call to authenticity. Next time you're in a place of stress or an anxiety, or maybe there's a relationship that's really needing some mending, go ahead, process that yourself. Stop, give yourself the grace, give yourself the time, take care of yourself, kind of check in on yourself, and then go and pursue that relationship. I promise that will be a far more beneficial approach. So we're talking about the circle of relationships, number 1 and number 2 here, and how we process that personally before relationally. As far as the SPIES go, or the holistic health, we're looking at emotional here and spiritual here. So you got to be able to say you're good, so that you're not only as good as the things that you say, and then emotions, to welcome that emotion and say, what was that? What's going on in my life? I want to look at that, examine that, and then take it to my relationships. All right, that's your ATN for today. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.